My name's James Knight and thank you for joining me once again on a very hot and sunny day here in Shenzhen. Today I'm in the Tangwei area of Shenzhen, and Tangwei area is a part of Bao'an district and it's very industrial. It's not like the other places that I've shown you in Shenzhen, so come with me on my journey and we'll have a look at Tangwei together. The reason why I want to show you this area is just to kind of give my videos balance, because usually I show you the more affluent areas of Shenzhen, and this one's just a bit different, but you know, personally I like it. You know, I think that it's more photogenic, cinematic in a way, just because there's so many factories here, and they even have an abandoned building, which you rarely ever see in China. You know, Chinese people are so good at getting rid of buildings they don't need anymore and rebuilding something new. So I think it's a great thing to see here. Just behind me here is the abandoned building I was telling you about. And it is a really fascinating thing to see, because you don't often see abandoned buildings in China, because Chinese people are very good at rebuilding, you know. But it's quite fascinating to see this place as well, because obviously with such a high population that China's got, they can afford to actually guard it. You know, they have the manpower here and the money to actually get security guards to guard it, even though it's not being used anymore. Which is something you don't often see in the West. You know, if you go to an abandoned building, it's abandoned and no one's there guarding it. So it is great to see. I mean, you can't really go in there though, because obviously there's security there, and I wouldn't really want to go in just because it does look like it's falling apart. On the other side of the street to this abandoned factory, there's plenty and plenty of shops that seem to be selling plumbing utensils, air conditioning and other things that maybe you might need for like DIY purposes or something like that. So I mean, sometimes you do see these shops closer to where I live, but it does seem to be a lot more commonplace around here. Just to the side of me here is a really large factory complex, and you can see all the industrial part of it, and then just behind it you can see the dormitories where all the factory workers live. Now obviously it's interesting to see a factory in China, because this is how this country grew. You know, it started off being a rural agricultural country, industrialized, and now it's starting to post-industrialise. So, you know, basically achieved what took Britain 300 years, China's done it in about 50. And now it's starting to struggle a little bit with competition from Vietnam and India, but it's still a large industrial country. And you know, it is fascinating to see a factory like this. However, it does make you feel how lucky you are when you see a place like this, to be who you are and where you're from and what education you've got, because obviously I wouldn't like to work in a Chinese factory personally, so it makes me feel very lucky that I've achieved what I've achieved and I am who I am, and I'm not as misfortunate as some other people on this planet. I guess everywhere has its good bits and its bad bits, and Shenzhen is not exempt from that rule. You know, Shenzhen has more affluent areas and Shenzhen has some more factory industrial areas. But, you know, to me, I still find this interesting. You know, like a lot of Chinese history was made here with manufacturing and industrialization, and, you know, in the West, you know, a lot of our less well-off places might have a higher level of crime. Whereas at least in China, the crime level's so low that you don't need to worry about it in a place like this. It's quite safe. So I hope you like this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye.